Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling, well, maybe the most fundamental theological question out there. It's certainly one I know I've thought about.
Mhm.
Why can't we just see the creator directly? I mean, it seems like it would solve a lot of problems, right?
It's a question that comes up again and again, and it really pushes us against uh, what the sources describe as this fundamental barrier.
Right, the barrier between us, the finite, and the creator, the infinite.
Exactly. And when you dive into the theological texts, the immediate short answer is pretty unified,
Which is?
that the creator is just absolutely completely different from everything he created. It's not just a difference in size or power, it's a difference in fundamental nature.
Okay, right. Different is easy to say. But why does that difference mean we can't see him, can't perceive him directly? That's what we need to unpack.
That's the core of it.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Explore why our human capacity hits a wall here, according to the sources. And importantly, how we can still get accurate knowledge about him, even with this limit.
Precisely. So where do we start? Well, the most intuitive place is probably the sheer scale difference, our limitations,
Our senses, our minds, we're just constrained, aren't we?
inherently constrained. There's a really memorable analogy the scholars use. Think about a tiny bacterium.
Okay, like a little microbe.
Yeah. Imagine this tiny bacterium living its life on, say, I don't know, the surface of your skin.
All right, I'm picturing it. Happy little bacterium.
It has absolutely zero concept that it's on skin, which is part of a human being walking around in a city on a planet. You get the idea.
Right, its entire reality is just that tiny patch of skin. It can't perceive the whole system.
Exactly. For it to even begin to understand the bigger picture, it would need to somehow leave its little world, get tools it doesn't have. But the key point is this. Its existence within the system doesn't automatically give it the ability to understand the system or the one who designed it.
That really hits home. If we struggle to fully grasp our own planet or the universe we can observe, how could we possibly perceive the creator of all of it?
That's the finite versus infinite gap right there. We are limited, bound by space, time, our senses. The creator, infinite. No beginning, no end beyond all those constraints.
The texts try to give us analogies for this vastness, don't they? But even the analogies feel like they buckle under the weight.
They do. They're just pointers.
Hmm.
Like, imagine the entire known universe, all the galaxies, everything. Imagine it's like a tiny ring
Okay.
that you toss into a vast, seemingly endless desert.
Wow. Okay, so the universe is just a tiny speck in this desert.
But then it goes further. Imagine that entire desert is itself just another tiny ring,
Oh, come.
compared to something even more immense, which the sources sometimes refer to as the throne.
Now, the throne, that's a term people might have heard. What does it represent here? Is it like a literal chair?
Good question. Not necessarily a physical chair we'd sit on.
Hmm.
In this theological context, the throne, or al-Arsh, often symbolizes the absolute largest, most vast extent of creation. It's like the boundary marker for the grandest scale we can even be asked to truck and imagine.
So it represents the limit of created vastness.
Exactly. It shows that even the biggest thing within creation is still just creation, infinitely smaller than the creator's reality.
It's genuinely hard to wrap your head around. We're sort of bumping up against the limits of our own concepts of space and scale.
And this scale issue ties directly into the limits of our vision. The Quran puts it very directly, doesn't it?
Yes. Vision comprehends him not, but he comprehends all vision.
Right. So our sight just can't grasp him. And the sources even explain why visually. There's something specific blocking the way.
Which is light. That always seemed paradoxical to me. Light helps us see.
It does, but it's about intensity. Think about staring directly into the sun.
Okay, bad idea. You can't.
Right. You see the light from the sun, it illuminates things, but the source itself is too overwhelming. The sources use this idea. When Prophet Muhammad was asked about seeing God during his ascent,
What did he say?
he said basically, what I saw was light. How could I see him? This divine light is described as acting like a veil almost.
The veil of light.
Kind of. It's the very thing that makes vision possible. But in its purest, most intense form, it shields the ultimate source from our limited perception. Our eyes are built for the reflections, the creation, not the origin point itself.
So barrier one, the immense scale difference, the infinite gap, and this sort of protective veil of light. Got it. What's the next major hurdle?
This one's more cognitive, more about how our minds actually work. It's the problem of comparison.
Meaning we can't compare God to anything.
Exactly. Think about how we understand anything. We need reference points. We know tall because we know short. We understand hot because we have cold.
Right. We define things by what they're like or what they're opposite to, like equal, contrary.
Precisely. Our entire way of thinking, categorizing, understanding relies on these comparisons.
Hmm.
But the core theological principle here is that the Creator has no like, no equal, and no contrary. He's utterly unique, above all form, as some texts say.
But wait, if he's beyond all comparison, how do we even form a concept of creator in our heads? Doesn't our mind need some hook, some category to place him in?
And that's the cognitive block. The moment you remove all possibility of comparison, no shape, no size, no time, no location, nothing like anything else, our minds literally run out of tools. We can't draw a mental picture because every element we'd use for that picture is itself created. And
Yeah.
he's beyond all created things.
So this leads directly to that conclusion you hear from so many Muslim thinkers.
Yes, that whatever idea or image of God you manage to form in your mind.
He's completely different from it, by definition.
It's a profound statement of intellectual humility, really. Knowing God accurately starts by acknowledging that our minds can't construct an accurate image using their own limited tools, form, quality, quantity, all that stuff.
It makes that Sufi saying really resonate. God is beyond all our conceptions. We are surrounded by thousands of veils. It's not just physical distance, it's a cognitive gap too.
A huge one. Our reason, like our senses, hits a limit.
Okay, so if our senses are blocked by stale and light, and our reason is blocked by the lack of comparison, where does that leave us? How do we know anything accurate about God? This feels like the crucial turning point.
It absolutely is. Because if we can't see him directly, and we can't figure him out completely on our own, the only remaining path for accurate knowledge is if he introduces himself.
Ah, revelation.
Exactly. The prophets, chosen individuals who bring God's own message, his self-description, to humanity. Without that, we're just guessing, basically, philosophizing in the dark.
There's that great analogy for this, right? The one about being locked in a room.
Yes, it makes the point really clearly. Imagine you're locked inside a completely sealed room. Suddenly you hear a distinct knock on the door.
Okay, a knock, so I know someone's out there.
Definitely. You know someone exists outside the room. That knock, its rhythm, its loudness, its pattern, that's like observing the universe. You see its complexity, its order, its beauty.
And you realize there must be a creator. You can infer things like power, maybe, or intelligence from the complexity of the knock.
Right. You can speculate. Maybe the knock is loud, so they must be strong. Maybe it's rhythmic, so they must be orderly. But it's still speculation about who it is.
You're just guessing attributes based on the effect.
Precisely. You know a creator exists, but you don't know their name, their specific qualities, their intentions towards you. The only way to get that accurate information
Is for them to open the door and tell you.
Exactly. Hi, my name is X, and this is why I'm knocking.
That direct communication, that self-introduction, that's revelation.
So revelation fundamentally shifts how we're supposed to look at the universe too then. It's not just random stuff anymore.
It teaches us to see everything in creation as a sign, a pointer. Thousands of signs, constantly demonstrating God's existence and, crucially, his attributes, the qualities he reveals about himself.
Like his name's the merciful, the all-knowing, the creator. Revelation gives us the labels and explains what they mean.
Yes. And this brings us to maybe the most important distinction we need to grasp, especially for you listening. Even with revelation, there's a limit to what we can know. Okay, what's the split?
We can know his names. We can comprehend his attributes, what mercy means, what power means, by seeing their effects in creation and through the descriptions in Revelation.
Right. We see mercy in rainfall. We understand power in thunderstorms as guided by revelation.
Exactly. But the third thing, his essence, the fundamental reality of what he is in himself, that exists, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it remains completely beyond our comprehension. We can know that he is and what qualities he has shown us, but not the whatness of his core being.
That distinction seems vital. It stops us from trying to do the impossible, grasp the essence, and focuses us on the possible, understanding and relating to his attributes.
It's the foundation of a realistic relationship. It reminds me of that famous saying from Abu Bakr, the first caliph.
Oh, what's that?
He said, essentially, to realize you cannot comprehend, his essence is the comprehension. Admitting the limit is the correct understanding.
Wow. The paradox again. Knowing the boundary is the key.
And that brings us to the practical takeaway for you, the listener. What does all this mean for us? Our role, according to these sources, isn't to strain our eyes trying to see the unseeable essence.
Right.
It's to commit to the relationship based on what has been revealed. Knowing his attributes, knowing he describes himself as being incredibly close nearer to us than our jugular veins.
That's a powerful image of closeness.
Isn't it? We're meant to feel that closeness, that existence, by looking at the universe through the lens of revelation, seeing his mercy, his wisdom, his power reflected everywhere, contemplating those attributes.
So to sum up this whole deep dive, we can't see the creator directly because, one, the scale is just too vast, the infinite gap is real, plus there's that veil of light.
Mm.
And two, our minds need comparisons to understand things, and he's beyond all comparison.
Absolutely.
But knowing him is possible through revelation, which acts like that knock on the door becoming a direct introduction.
Right. It gives us his names and attributes to understand and connect with.
While making it clear, his actual essence remains beyond our grasp, which is okay. That's part of the deal.
That's the framework.
So maybe a final thought for people to chew on after this.
Well, think about that knock on the door analogy again, the universe.
Yeah.
If looking at it is like hearing the knock, then remember the sources emphasize its sheer richness, its harmony, its utility. It's not just a pretty picture.
It's functional, intricate.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
thousands upon thousands of living, changing signs, not just one static knock. They're constantly displaying those attributes.
Yeah.
So the implication is that our commitment isn't just a one-time acknowledgement.
It needs to be ongoing.
It requires continuous observation, continuous contemplation of these signs, informed by revelation, constantly studying the knock in all its details to better understand the knocker's revealed attributes. That ongoing effort, that dedication to seeing his qualities reflected in the world, that's presented as the path to really developing your inner self, your connection. It's a lifelong study.
A powerful place to leave it. Constant contemplation of the signs. Thank you.
My pleasure.